Hi there. Let's talk battleships. Battleships. They are, were, and will always be special in the history of the sea. This is the second of our videos about them, where they were born, how they grew, what they did, and how they died. So what are battleships, huh? Let me tell you, they're the physical manifestation of a nation's power and its pride. They were true ships of war, warships, designed to deliver deadly blows to enemy vessels and survive. Maybe. Their turrets' big gun size roughly match the armor's thickness. At the end, the biggest battleships, with 18.1-inch guns, had 25 inches of steel protecting the turrets. They needed it. Shells weighing over 3,000 pounds could be hurled some 25 miles. Wow. The last of these beautiful behemoths launched was the British Royal Navy's HMS Vanguard. She was commissioned in 1946, incorporating hard lessons like the loss of HMS Hood, of HMS Repulse, and of HMS Prince of Wales. God rest all those sailors' souls. Except for having smaller guns, only 15 inches, she was similar in size to the U.S. Navy's 4 Iowa-classers. HMS Vanguard, however, was scrapped in 1960. The British Royal Navy was left with no battleships for the first time in over 200 years. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. They decided not to keep any of them, even as a museum ship. And I think that's sad. By the way, the U.S. Navy had the world's last serving battleships, the fast Iowa class. 6 were planned, 4 were built. They are still afloat some 75 years after launching. But, and there's always a but, the U.S. decommissioned them 30 years ago. The era in which they ruled the seas is over. There are no more battleships in service anywhere. None. Most of the others were scrapped. Cut up for what? Razor blades? A very few became privately owned museums. That's true of the USS Iowa, USS Wisconsin, USS New Jersey, USS Missouri, and a few others like the last World War I dreadnought, USS Texas. She just started an extensive rehab. The link to donate to that is below. Another, by the way, dreadnought, super dreadnought, and battleship are all kind of synonymous unless you mean the original HMS Dreadnought, the game changer. We're going to do a video just about her. Can you imagine owning a battleship? Surprisingly, someone in the Mideast recently bought 3 sunken World War I German battleships. True. They bought it off of eBay. SMS Markgraf, König, and Kronprinz Wilhelm, I don't speak German at all, were among the 72 ships scuttled in Great Britain's Scapa Flow on June 21st, 1919. The 3 battleships are still resting at the bottom of Scapa Flow, about maybe 150 feet underwater. The buyer paid about $34,000 each. Well, paid using pounds, 25,000 pounds, which could be a bargain. Originally, they were offered at 250,000 pounds each. Here's something to think about. $34,000. That's about the price of a new car. It means I could almost afford my own personal battleship. But I have 3 questions, 3 questions. First, where are you going to park it? Second, how are you going to get it there? And third, what on earth are they intending to do with these ships, Will they try to refloat those old rusting hulks? Now they've been underwater for about, 102 years? So it doesn't seem likely, even though immediately after they went down, some of the ships were refloated. For a while, steel from old wrecks was useful. You could make things like Geiger counters because the steel had no radiation. So if you don't need the steel for that kind of application, why did they buy it? Well, I have an idea. I don't know that I'm right, but I have an idea. 2 rich guys. One guy showing off his yacht says, I have a huge yacht. The other one says, yeah, I have a battleship. In fact, I have 3 battleships, 600 feet long, 30,000 tons of steel each. Guess who wins that conversation? At the end of the First World War, the British Royal Navy was the most powerful naval force on Earth by far. Something like 33 of their dreadnoughts escorted and humiliated the German fleet as it steamed into internment in Scapa Flow. One of our videos is going to be about that. The competition between Germany and Great Britain was well underway 200 years before the First World War. How's that possible? There wasn't even a Germany back then. No, there wasn't, but there were the Dutch. The coastal Dutch, lowland Dutch, Netherlanders, and the High Dutch, the ones to the east, away from the coast. Deutschland, Germany, and the Dutch in 1650 had the world's biggest navy. They ruled. Before the Dutch, the other European kings and queens understood that control of the sea mattered. Look at Spain. They had their colonies in America. The treasure ships coming to Europe made the Spanish rich. 1588, King Philip II decided that he, as a Catholic, objected to England no longer being Catholic. He decided to invade the island. Now he understood that he couldn't just march his troops to the island. He had to get control of the English Channel first. So what did he do? He put together an armada, 130 ships. By the way, armada is just a Spanish word for fleet. King Philip, now I am sure no one ever called him Phil, put the Duke of Medina Sidonia in charge of the fleet. I don't know if he was given actually the title of admiral, because though he was in command, he was not a sailor. He was an aristocrat. The smaller British ships went out to meet the Spaniards, but they couldn't stop them. The Spaniards passed up towards Scotland. They entered the North Sea. But, and here's another but, they met a storm, a huge storm, and it sank much of the fleet and drove many ships onto the rocks. That ended the Spanish invasion of England. The history of battleships shows us that no matter how powerful these behemoths were, they're no match for time and tide. Nature wins. The battleship USS North Carolina, which is a museum ship, is now having parts of her hull replaced. She was rusting through. Eventually she would have sunk. Wow. If you're interested, There's a link below to donate. Our next video is about another attempted invasion of Great Britain and how a line of battleships commanded by Lord Horatio Nelson stopped Napoleon in his tracks. Lord Nelson may have been the greatest commander of battleships in history. Certainly, he was the greatest of the British ones. He was a man of military naval genius and exceptional courage. I am Mike for the Be More Better team. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. This video reminds you, God bless all those men and women who go to sea to bring goods, to protect, to make the world better. God bless them all. Until the next time. Bye now. 2, 1. Thank you.